Thanks for coming to the session this afternoon on how to win in the new world of sport nutrition, or the new age. And we play in a lot of different categories. There's multivitamins and green foods and fish oils and probiotics, but it doesn't seem like any of them seem to change and evolve as often or as fast as sport nutrition. So it's really important to understand at any given moment, any given year, where we are, and then build a plan of how to win. And so the purpose of this presentation isn't a sales pitch. It's meant to help you build your business through sport nutrition by adding that to your repertoire, adding it to your shelves, and making a meaningful go with it. So by the end of it, I want to help you get on a path towards building a wildly successful sport nutrition section full of stark raving mad fans. Does that sound good to you? Yeah? Good promise? And you can do it without disrupting your business, having to overhaul and change everything, without offending your customers and trying to sell them things that they don't understand or don't care to learn about, or by selling things that you yourself don't believe in or that you yourself hate. Because now is an evolution in sport nutrition where the wellness store, the one who believes in all natural and organic and non-GMO and the best ingredients, can win in sport nutrition. And today is that day, or this is that year. These are the kinds of products that you can win in sport nutrition. And so who am I that you should listen to me? My name is Matt Taylor. If you haven't met me before, I'm the marketing director at Body Plus. I've been working in the industry since 2005, so 12 years. I've worked on hardcore brands designed for bodybuilders. I've worked for brands for athletes. I've worked on sport nutrition brands for the active lifestyle. So over those 12 years, I've seen a lot of changes in buyer behavior, in purchase decisions, but I started even before then. In the late 90s, I was first introduced into sport nutrition when I was 12 years old. My brother was a super skinny 16-year-old athlete. He played basketball and hockey, and he was one of the stars on the team, but he always struggled to gain weight. I was the husky one, he was the skinny one. And he discovered sport nutrition. He discovered weight gain. So one day, he comes home with this big bucket of weight gain powder. He puts it into the closet, and every day he goes in and gets 3 or 4 scoops, throws it in a blender, puts in a bunch of milk, blends it up, and drinks it. And he soon discovers that adding 3,000 calories a day to your life can pack on a lot more than muscle in no time. So my super skinny 16-year-old brother gains a bit of chunk, and I feel a lot better about myself. But that was my introduction to sport nutrition. That was how I got excited about this whole world of products that can make you bigger, stronger, faster, whatever it was. I was an athlete too. I played basketball. And so since the late 90s, I've been fascinated by the promise of sport nutrition, by the ingredients, by the products, and I'm really excited to share with you everything I've learned. Some of it anyways, in the 30 minutes. So being on the brand side, I get the opportunity to work with really smart people. We have experts in our business who work in sport nutrition, in private labeling, and I've worked with media people who have their finger on the pulse of the industry, been to trade shows over Canada and the US, so I come to you with a bit of experience. And I hope that I can share something with you today that can make a difference in your business and help you understand how sport nutrition can do something for you. So some US data. This, of course, isn't Canadian data, but we can always extrapolate and see how it applies to us. But in the US in 2016, vitamins and dietary supplements made up $27.6 billion. Sports nutrition was $7.4 billion. So almost 25% of products sold in health food stores is sports nutrition. So a lot of stores up until today in the natural world have focused mostly on the vitamins and dietary supplements for good reason. There's a divide between vitamins and sport nutrition, and that divide is closed, and we'll get into that today. In addition, there's this research from the Nutrition Business Journal that shows, if you look at the top line, blue up top, and the black line. So the blue line is sport nutrition, the black line is vitamins. So sport nutrition since 2009 has been outpacing or outgrowing vitamins at a rapid rate. And it's projected in the US that sports nutrition will hit $11 billion by 2021, which is 40% increase from last year, 48% increase. So we see this amazing growth in sports nutrition, so it's a great time to get in on it. So here's what we're talking about. On the bottom, you'll see the 5 red circles are the 5 shifts that are happening right now in the lowest recent years in sports nutrition. How is it changing? And each of those shifts have 3 key drivers that are causing them. Then we'll talk about the 5 buyer types. Who is buying sports nutrition today? It used to be for bodybuilders, but now it's for 4 more people. So there's 5 in total that are in your stores every single day. And then we'll finish off with, if you're just getting started or you want to ramp up sport nutrition sales, how do you do that? What are the keys to getting some fire lit back in that category? And then we'll end with, how do you build a sales ladder? How do you get somebody from a wellness shopper who buys vitamins, how do you get them into sports nutrition in a really natural, and easy way. So we'll get through all of that in the next 30 minutes. The 5 major market shifts, we'll just touch on 5 things. And what I really want you to know by the end of this first third of the presentation is that the change has made an opportunity for natural stores to get in on sport nutrition and make a big difference on their business with it. It has changed radically and has finally taken its place as a natural extension of wellness. And that's an opportunity for all of us. So the first one is mass awareness and appeal. When I was 12 and 13 taking sports supplements, I had to call down to a company in the States. I used my parents' credit card. They approved. And the products come. I open up the box. There's this package of all these pouches of protein powder. And along with it was a T-shirt. And I was really proud of the fact that I was now a sport nutrition guy. And I wore this T-shirt to my next basketball practice. And I had a logo on there, and it had some stuff about science and a bunch of words, whatever they said. And the guys on my basketball team noticed my shirt, asked me, what does that mean? And I spent the next couple minutes trying to explain the fact that I was taking these powders in these packets, trying to put on muscle, and they had no idea what I was talking about, and they really didn't care to know. So in those days, sports nutrition was this niche thing that no one really knew about, but has changed. There's this mass awareness and appeal where consumers every single day are wanting and buying sport nutrition. Hope I'm not in your way. Then what's causing that? So there's mass products and marketing. 10 years ago, I'm in my gym. Not my own house, but the gym I work out at. I walk into the change room, and on the wall is this big sign that says something like, recover with chocolate milk. That's the earliest I can remember chocolate milk being marketed for recovery, for post-workout. And at the time, I thought, oh man, they're just gonna ruin our business. Like, how can they promote dairy for post-workout? And of course, there are some benefits there, and this isn't a debate on dairy and chocolate milk, but this was the beginning from when I started of when mass awareness around recovery products became a thing. And so the more consumers are exposed to the idea of needing recovery products, creates opportunity for our businesses to introduce them to better and better products. Because unless someone's aware of the need, they can't become interested. And so once they become interested, we can convert them into a higher, more premium product consumer. There's a growing fitness culture of Tough Mudder and Spartan races. There's military boot camps where you get screamed at for an hour in downtown Toronto. There's wearable technology that counts your steps and lets you compete with your friends. So there's this growing fitness culture. When I was a kid, it was all about Hal and Joanne. Anybody remember Body Break? Yeah, lots. So that was fitness in the 90s. And it's come a long way, where fitness now is cool. It's cool to be part of a boot camp. It's cool to go to classes and get screamed at. It's cool to be fit. And so the consumers at large are doing yoga, they're doing all these different activities, and now they're discovering that sport nutrition can make a difference in those activities. So mass awareness and appeal is the first big one. The next one is the broadening demographics. So I was a kid, 12 years old. Nobody else I knew was taking products. But today, parents, moms and dads, but especially dads, are going into stores every day saying, what can I give my teenage athlete to make them better? On the court, on the ice, on the field. So people who, I was before my time, kids are using products today. Not the full repertoire of what's available, not all kids can't take everything, but younger and younger people are taking these products. It's shifting older, where there's Pilates, there's yoga, there's Aquafit, there's all kinds of activities that older people take part in. My parents work out, they use products. So the older generation is also getting in on sport nutrition. And the women to men is balancing out. A decade ago, it was largely a male population. It was all about bodybuilding, becoming the alpha. And now there's a lot of women who understand that sports nutrition is for them too. Steroids in sports nutrition is less of a myth than it used to be. People used to think that steroids was protein is steroids, and people are less and less concerned about that. And so it's balancing out in terms of genders. So the demographics are broadening for sport nutrition. The third one is the rise of mind power. Sport nutrition was exclusively about physical performance, getting bigger, stronger, faster, more endurance. In recent years, there's been a whole new category of ingredients that have been classified as nootropics, and that's all about brain power, getting more focus, faster reaction time, faster decision making, which is great for bodybuilders, is great for athletes, but also opens up to a whole new world of people who just want this. for their professional life. They might want to drink a pre-workout in the afternoon because it helps them to focus in, gives them more energy, helps them to make better decisions. So even executives, business people are discovering that sport nutrition has secondary benefits that go beyond athleticism. The fourth one is a demand for quality and transparency. We live in a world of social media where consumers expect that they can email or message a brand and learn or get a response right away. They want companies that will lift away the veil so that they can show them what they're doing, why they're doing it, and be totally transparent. So there's been issues in recent years, class action suits in the US about something called protein spiking, which is you take a really expensive whey protein, you remove some of it and you add in a really inexpensive amino acid like taurine or glycine, or you put in some creatine, which also tests like protein. So you remove some of the expensive ingredient, put in a cheap ingredient, and it tests like the full maximum dose of protein, but it's actually been cut. And so it's a fraudulent product. Certainly not every protein is like that. There's many great products out there, but consumers are aware that this happens, and they're looking for more certainty that brands aren't doing that. Proprietary blends are becoming a thing of the past. If you look at a label and you see something like muscle building matrix power, and you see 8 ingredients, there's 8 grams, and you have no idea how much of each one's in there. Consumers today are becoming aware that that has been used as a way to hide inefficient potencies. So they want to know, what am I buying, what's in it? They want to feel totally informed. They don't want to just trust a brand and say, oh, they must know what they're doing. They want to make a decision using their own faculties, and so they want brands and products that are easy to understand. Years ago, I went to a store, I picked up a bottle, and the entire list of ingredients on that bottle was just the scientific names. I had no idea what was in it, and I wanted to buy it because I thought it was cool, it was mysterious. But now consumers want it to be easy to understand because they want to feel informed. There's a whole generation of people who want to be empowered to make the right decision for themselves. And hidden ingredients, protein spiking, all these things have compromised the category, but are creating an opportunity for the premium brand and the premium store who offers only the best products. The final shift we'll talk about is the merge of sport and wellness, and how in the past there were two very different things. You could be a wellness store or you could be a sports store, and you couldn't really find a bridge between them. But today, consumers are wanting healthy, clean ingredients. So we see an example here with Kraft. There was a petition a few years ago where 365,000 people signed it saying, Kraft, take your artificial dyes out of your mac and cheese. And they did. So if consumers are looking for no dyes and artificial stuff in Kraft Dinner of all things, then how much more would they want it to be removed, at least the colors and other things out of their sport and nutrition products. But the problem was we just couldn't do it. The industry couldn't supply high quality, highly effective sports nutrition all naturally. And that's because some of the best ingredients, you think of branched chain aminos, arginine, which was popular a few years ago, these ingredients taste horrible. Like they're nasty. And the only way you can make them palatable is with artificial, or way you could make them palatable, was through artificial flavors and sweeteners. If you tried to put those ingredients and use natural stevia and flavors, you just couldn't drink it. So brands who wanted to be wellness focused, to their credit, did the best they could. They got the ingredients that they could flavor well enough with natural means, and they released those products. But it created this separation where clean meant weak because you couldn't put the best ingredients in there, and then effective meant unhealthy or unclean because you had to use artificial flavors and sweeteners. It was the only way to make it usable. But in recent years, the science has made the bridge possible. Stevia as a natural sweetener has come a really long way where it can taste way better than it did 10 years ago or 5 years ago when I first tried it. Natural and organic sweeteners and flavors, they can do it now. And you can actually enjoy the experience. So the merge of sport and wellness has created this opportunity where the world of sport is a natural extension of wellness. And the traditional health food store can now sell sport nutrition without compromising their integrity, without stocking products that don't work for their environment or for their consumers, and has created this whole opportunity to add that 25, or the missing 25% to the business that we saw earlier in the presentation. So those are the major shifts that have happened in the marketplace in the last few years and has created this amazing opportunity. This happens to be our most recent sport line that we launched earlier in the year that was designed with all of these shifts in mind. So now we'll talk about the 5 buyers. Who is walking into stores every day looking for sport nutrition products? Now, the first one is the obvious one, the bodybuilder. Person who wants to get big, they want to be strong, they want to be alpha. And of course, not every bodybuilder wants to be alpha, but this is the image that represents that group, where sports nutrition is a basic fuel. A lot of brands that are in the industry were founded by bodybuilders. It was made by bodybuilders for bodybuilders. But then in the early 2000s, brands started to promote sport nutrition to athletes. And it became about being a high performer on the ice, on the field, on the court, whatever it was, but it was for athletes who used products as their secret weapon or their extra edge for high performance. Two obvious groups to buy sports nutrition. But in the last few years, there's been a few more that have been added to this that create the biggest opportunity for stores in our country. So the first one, or the third one, but the first new one is the adventurer. And this person is the one who uses sports nutrition as a tool to squeeze the most out of life. And what does that mean? It's the obstacle course racer, it's the like Tough Mudder, it's the CrossFitter, someone who backpacks or rock climbs. These things can be activities that the athlete does, but when you get into the personas or the psychology of buyers, they can do the same thing, but for different reasons. So the athlete takes supplements to win, to conquer, to destroy. The adventurer takes supplements to squeeze more things out of life, so they can get the most out of their experience. So people are using protein and pre-workouts and intra-workouts to fuel their hikes, to fuel their cycling, to fuel their OCR race or obstacle course racing. So it's a brand new group of people who buy for different reasons, and it's important to know the reason for buying in order to sell to them. So it's a really important distinction. Then the biggest group is the lifestyle enthusiast. This is the person who uses sports supplements as their shortcut to look good, to feel healthy, and to win more. They work out 3 days a week. They may play in a men's league or women's league every single week. There's active people. They live the lifestyle. They identify as being healthy, and they want products to help make them healthier. They want products to help them win on the court, although they wouldn't identify, though, as a high-performance athlete. They're not a finely tuned machine. They just want to have fun, they want to win, and they want to feel like they're doing the right thing for themselves. So they are really engaged consumers. They buy lots of product, they use it consistently, and they get results. And the last one is the smallest of the group, but one of the fastest growing. So the casual user is someone who's looking for a healthier option or a little extra. This is the person who comes into your store every January looking to lose some weight and then disappears until the spring and then comes back again in January. This is the person who is trying to get off coffee because there's so much sugar and cream in their version of coffee, and so they take a pre-workout to substitute. It's a healthier version of coffee. They use a branched-chain amino or an intra-workout to replace their afternoon pop or soda, however you define it. So they use sports supplements to replace unhealthy lifestyle choices so they can feel good about what they're doing. They may not be exercising 3 days a week, could be once a week, could be once a month, but they're still using products. So pre-workouts for the office worker is a really common thing these days. I'm one of those people. So these are the 5 personas, the 5 people who are buying sports nutrition, and hopefully you can identify at least one or more of them who are already coming into your store. And they may just not be buying sports nutrition yet. So if you're unfamiliar with our brands, a quick note that we do have brands that cover the expanse of these personas. So if you're looking to build a section of sport nutrition in your store, or you want to build out your section and increase your sales, and you're looking to appeal to the most number of personas, then we have brands that can do that and spread across that gap. So now we've talked about the shifts in the marketplace and what's causing them and why that creates an opportunity for health food stores. We've talked about the 5 people who are buying sports nutrition and spending lots of money there, creating a 25% of the supplement usage. Now let's talk about how do we get them to buy. How do you create a section of sport nutrition products now in today's market when there's already plenty of sports stores out there? The first key is the idea of embracing premium. So because the industry isn't brand new, there's a lot of stores out there already who focus on being a value place, where you can come to get the least expensive price on supplements. And value positioning works as long as you're one of the first. But the issue is if you're coming in now and you're building a section now, is that because that position is already taken, in consumers' minds, that's in the art or the marketing or the science of positioning, is that if a consumer already identifies someone else as a thing, then you have a really hard time becoming that thing too. So if there's already a store in your neighborhood that's a discount store or a cheaper store, value-based one, then you can't become that also because consumers won't care. So embracing premium because cheap is already taken in most markets. Second is premium products raise the switching barrier. What does that mean? When somebody buys a premium product, and more importantly through an ultra-premium experience, the blinders go up, they become less price sensitive. They don't just shop around and buy everywhere, anywhere. They come back for that experience over and over again. Because consumers at large, we're all secretly looking for a transformative experience in whatever way that comes. And retail environments have the opportunity to create that transformation experience for consumers, whatever problems they're solving. And so when you sell premium products through a premium experience, the science shows that consumers do less price hopping, they do less store hopping, they become a lot more loyal. So the idea is embrace premium products. You can have value stuff for those who just are too price sensitive, but it's important to have premium stuff as well. And the most interesting stuff, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir already on that, but if you don't know, premium products create customer satisfaction at a whole different way. So research shows that if you take a bottle of wine and you pour it into 2 cups, and then you say that one cup is more expensive than the other, and you hand out those cups of the exact same wine, people will think that the more expensive wine tastes better. Because it costs more, it must be better, and so their brain tricks them into thinking it tastes better. And they honestly believe it. They're not just saying what they think they're supposed to say. The same is true in energy drinks. You take the same can of energy drink, you put it in 2 cups, you give it to somebody, and you say, this one costs more. They will genuinely feel more energized by the one they think is more expensive. So the world of premium products carries a whole layer of the placebo effect. So not only are you having the quality ingredients that come with premium products that actually work better than the cheap stuff, you also have the placebo effect and you magnify it, and you have consumers having these remarkable experiences because you're selling premium products through a premium high-touch experience. And high-touch is just facilitating and helping them and answering questions. So premium is the first key. The second one is choosing who you're selling to. If you look at your customer base right now, who is already there? I'm sure you have lifestyle enthusiasts, people that work out, people that they may run, they may play a sport, whatever it is, they're active. Guaranteed you've got at least one of these groups coming into your store already every single day. So it's important to start where you are and then add on as you go, not trying to be all things to all people because then no one believes you. And then here's the last thing, building a ladder. So what does it take? If you have somebody come in, they've never purchased from you before, and they're coming with a problem that you need to solve, they're a non-buyer, they're at the bottom of the ladder, not even on the first rung yet. And your goal, if you want somebody to go from wellness to wellness and sport, is to get them all the way up to the fanatic level on number 5. So how do you do that? Let's say they come in for the common things. People have digestive challenges, they have energy problems or immunity, and it's important that as a business you have a system that solves problems. Because people aren't coming in for products, they're coming in for the outcome of what those products offer. And so you may recommend to that person a multivitamin, an omega product, a probiotic as the first 2 rungs. So these are easy sales because the person is aware of those products. Probiotics are an insanely growing category. Fish oil, although not growing, it's a big one. Multivitamins, everyone knows about multis. So you get them on the first couple of rungs just by solving that first problem. But then you'll notice that above, at the top of the ladder, are pre-workouts, creatine, branched chain, glutamine. These are more the advanced sports stuff that the average person doesn't know about. And if you tried to sell it right away, you know they'd just be thinking, no, probably not for me. But you'll notice that protein is in the middle. It's the middle rung to the top. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to get your customers to protein as fast as possible. Because protein is the biggest gateway product to sport nutrition. So you might be thinking, I already sell a decent amount of protein, people buy it every day, but then I have a question for you. Are they buying wellness smoothies or are they buying recovery shakes? Because if the consumer doesn't identify the protein as a recovery shake, then they haven't become a sport nutrition buyer yet in their psychology. So the psychology of selling and marketing is if you have to help somebody see themselves as the kind of person who buys the products you're trying to sell. Trying to get someone to see themselves as the kind of person who buys sport nutrition. So my dad, he's worked out his entire adult life. 3 days a week, except for injuries or vacations. He's just a really active, really healthy guy. Works out like crazy. Also, one night a week, he goes to this crazy military combat training. And then he's sore for days after. And so, first of all, he was having a hard time getting through it. He's a really fit guy, but he was struggling to get to the end of the workout. Then he's been having smoothies for years. His morning breakfast is smoothies for as long as I can remember. But he's never really embraced protein as a performance product, even though he's always worked out. So recently, a few weeks ago, he decides, well, I'm not going to get home for dinner. He always goes to this military combat thing between work, right after work, and doesn't get to eat. He drinks a protein shake, goes, and he cannot believe how much energy he has. He finishes the workout, he outperforms guys half his age, which he usually does anyways, but he has this amazing experience with protein as a performance product. So in his mind, protein just shifted from wellness smoothie into performance recovery shake. And now he's telling me all these benefits that he's having from protein, and I started talking to him about all these other more advanced sport nutrition products, like our post-workout, which we just released earlier in the spring. He said, yeah, I want to give that a try. Because he had a remarkable experience with the biggest gateway product to sport nutrition there is, protein. So you have wellness shoppers buying wellness smoothies, but if you help them and find a reason why the protein is a recovery-based athletic product, now they say, okay, what else have you got? It happened with my father. It happens with people every day. So the key then is solve a problem, step them up. That's the idea of a sales ladder. You have a problem, you can't move to sport nutrition and create a new problem for them until you solve the one they came in for. So let's look at an imaginary woman named Sarah. Sarah is a busy mom and small business owner who wants to fully invest herself in both family and work, but struggles with poor digestion, low energy, and every cold and flu that comes along. Pretty common stuff. People have digestive challenges they want solved, they have energy problems, they have immunity problems, 3 big reasons why wellness shoppers come into a store looking for an answer. So then, your sales ladder may look like this. You could have your own recommended products, totally flexible. You just need to have a system of some kind of getting them up into sport. So in this case, it could be an active multi because she's under stress, a probiotic for digestion, and a green food for energy, and making sure she's fully nourished. The next time she's in the store, she's telling you how much better she feels, how much more energy she has, her digestion is getting a lot better, and so now it's on to the next thing. You've cleared that hurdle, you've solved a problem, and now you can step her up. Through talking with her, you learn that Sarah is also an extreme frisbee competitor who wants to give her all in the field but struggles with midday exhaustion and debilitating muscle soreness for days after every game. Seems like a strange example, this is not new to you, but I've recently had conversations with 3 different young moms who all play, they don't know each other, but they all play extreme frisbee. I had no idea it was so popular. So I included something in there because people have really diverse lives. Some people play extreme frisbee, some happen to work out. My dad, for example, has worked out for years and never embraced sport nutrition just because it didn't seem right for him. So people are living these lives and not presenting these problems or challenges because it just doesn't occur to them that sport nutrition could be for them. So because you built rapport with Sarah, you solved her first problem, now you're discovering new problems. And it's your chance to take her to protein. This solves her soreness problem, or part of it anyway. She starts to feel better. She has a protein shake before her game and then after. A remarkable experience. And then she comes to you and says, okay, protein is awesome, obviously. What else have you got? So consumers every day are buying sports nutrition products and they're learning to buy them, but they don't just do it by happenstance. They don't just decide that they need sports nutrition. They have to ascend through a ladder like this. People that are walking into wellness stores expect wellness products. They're not in there necessarily thinking about sport nutrition. Some are, of course, but not everyone is. So if you can solve their wellness problems, get them to protein as fast as possible, help them to identify as someone who uses sports nutrition products, then they've just stepped into the world of sport nutrition. And you can begin to add to their basket and turn them into a fanatical user of sport nutrition products because you led them up the ladder, solving problem after problem, becoming their source, their trusted advisor, and providing premium products that change their lives. And it's adding to that, creating that transformative experience that we're all secretly seeking, not knowing where to go for it. But when a retail person or a store becomes that haven of transformation, of their lives, of getting healthier, of being less sore, having more energy, whatever it is, When you help somebody transform, they become fanatics for life, and they keep coming back for more. You can get really fancy with this kind of a tool, where if you have the bottom rung for wellness stuff, then you know that if they happen to say, oh, I have this athletic need, then you can take them up the athletic ladder. If they have a problem with focus and energy, you can take them up that ladder. The secret just is knowing what system you want to use. What are your recommendations? What are your programs for each use case? You solve a problem and you step them up. So here's the simple equation. If you want to build a ladder like this, and we'll make this presentation available to you, if you want to build a ladder like this, it goes with this statement. My customer is a blank who wants blank but struggles with blank. So everybody has common struggles. They could come in with energy, immunity, joint problems. What are the bottom rung problems and desires of that customer? The secret to selling is understanding what somebody wants and what they don't want. If you help them to get more of what they want and less of what they don't want, they're ready to go to the next rung. So the bottom rung is the everyday challenge. Then what's the next rung? It could be that your customers are extreme Frisbee competitors. They are athletes of some kind. Maybe they have bodybuilding aspirations. Whatever it is, what are the desires of that customer? And it comes by asking, what are you trying to accomplish? What problems are you facing? And then you can start prescribing products that solve that problem. And then you move them all the way up the ladder so that you can win in sports nutrition. So this is the model. We talked about the 5 shifts that are happening in sport right now, nutrition, that are causing all this change, and the driving forces that are creating an opportunity for natural health retailers to get in on sport nutrition. More and more women are buying. People are looking for brain power and focus. They want cleaner products. They want total transparency. They want premium stuff. And the masses are getting aware of the need for sport nutrition, or the power of sports nutrition. So there's this amazing opportunity to grow business and add revenue by creating a thriving sport nutrition section in your store. Then we looked at the 5 buyers. Who is buying these products? Why are they buying? With the bodybuilders looking for basic fuel, the athlete is looking to win, to destroy their competition, to become a finely tuned machine. The adventurer just wants to squeeze the most out of life they possibly can. The lifestyle enthusiast wants to feel healthy, look good, and win whenever they do compete. And the casual user just wants some healthier options to make their life a little better than it was before. All of these people are looking for sports nutrition, and they just may not know it yet. And you're the venue to get it to them. And then finally, through premium products, you can build a ladder that ascends people up into the fanatics realm of sport nutrition and wellness, where it's a both and. As in the past, wellness stores didn't venture into sport for good reason, because sport was full of the unnatural, unhealthy, artificial stuff that could compromise health. So they didn't blend. But now we see from earlier in the presentation that sports nutrition has the ability to be a huge impact on sales. Almost 25% of the total sum of vitamins and supplements plus sport, 25% was sports. So that can really make a difference in your business if you build a thriving section.